You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, and everybody here from Drakewing Gaming. Just something on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Tennis Ace, June's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chaining, we're up and let's go. Alright. Yuichi-san, I'm worried about you. This again? I already told you I'm fine. Please don't lie to me. I've done this kind of thing for years. I can see through it. What are you? Yuichi-san, please. At least respect me enough to not tell me an obvious lie. It's okay to be hurt, and it's okay to need help, but I can't do anything for you if you don't know what you need. June, Just leave it alone, please. No! We can't leave it alone. Leaving it alone is bad. What's gotten into you? Settle down. I don't want to leave it alone. Bad things happen when we leave things like this alone. I have no idea what you're going on about. Please actually explain so I can feel like I'm also part of this conversation. June's tail lashes behind him. At the same time, he continues to avoid eye contact. The tiger places both his hands on his lap, clasping them together and taking a deep breath. What happened to you? What happened to you? You can't play tennis anymore. That's huge. I know you're trying to pretend like it's not because you don't want people to worry about you. I get that, I really do. But it's not good. If you keep bottling it up without ever dealing with it, if you keep pretending and isolating yourself so no one else has to worry about you, I'm afraid you might do something bad. Something bad? Holy crap, June, you're not implying what I... The look on his face tells me everything I need to know, promptly silencing me before I can even finish my sentence. Damn it, June, how could you ever think I'd... I know, I know what it's like. You know... Wait, you're not saying... June takes another deep breath, leaning forward on his seat. He props his knees up on the mattress, hugging them to his body and trying to hide himself between them. I was in a bad place. I felt like I was dead already. One day they even took the piano from me. The piano was all I had, so I... No. You can't mean... The tiger raises his head, looking up at me with a smile so fake that it does little to hide all the pain and sadness behind it. It's my greatest shame. I've come a long way since then, but still. All I'm saying is that I understand. More than anyone, I understand. I've been through this kind of thing before, Yuichi. I know how far down it can pull you if you're not careful. That's why I don't want to leave it alone. Why I can't leave it alone. What happened to you, even if you say it isn't, I'll never stop feeling responsible for it. And since I know what it's like, since I've gone through something kind of like that, I want to be here. I want to be able to help you. That's all I can do for you. June, I don't even know what to say. I could never imagine you of all people going through... Alright, one water done, on to the next. I can't say it. I can't bring myself to say it. If I actually say what I'm thinking, if I actually give it a name, June will have no choice but to confirm or deny it for me. I don't know if I want that. Because if he does, it'll be real. There'll be no way for me to laugh it off or just say that I am misunderstood. June gets up from the bed, standing in front of me. He lowers himself, almost kneeling on the floor, until the two of us are face to face. A smile on his face. Like he already knows what I'm thinking. I know it's a lot to process. It's something I'm embarrassed of admitting to myself, but there's nothing I can do about it. It did happen, and I can never change that. June raises his arm, looking down at it with that same sad smile. As soon as I realize what he's doing, I instinctively hold my breath. I want more than anything to look away, to pretend like I don't see. But I can't. My eyes are glued to it. The tiger gingerly reaches for the cuff of his shirt, pulling it back to expose the underside of his wrist. At first, I see nothing. I try to see nothing. In fact, if I had just caught sight of his arm at random, I'm sure I wouldn't have been able to make anything out. Because I know there is something there to be seen, I look just a little bit harder. It's not that noticeable anymore, thankfully. Still, I'm terrified of other people ever seeing, because I don't want to have the conversation where I need to explain where they come from. Even worse than that, I don't want to see those eyes ever again. Those eyes full of worry and pity. I don't want to be looked at like I'm some fragile little thing. Like I might break if I'm not handled with care. I couldn't take that anymore. So, I keep them covered. They're not all that noticeable anymore thanks to the fur growing over it, but I still keep them covered. Did you know that manga and media in general always show the wrong way to slit your wrists? So that if anyone ever tries to do it, they don't do it in the way that would actually let you commit suicide. I didn't know that back then, and it's the only reason why the words catch in his throat. I know exactly what he was about to say, but even so, the sudden silence from him feels like it might drive me insane. June, he tried to... My eyes flick back to his wrist, the scar hidden under the fur there, barely visible, a single clean horizontal slice across his wrist. Just looking at it, I can already tell that it must have been a fairly deep cut to leave such a pronounced scar, protruding a little from the rest of the skin around it like a small bump. If it weren't for the fur growing over it. June, Yeah? I have a million questions going through my head, but I don't want to ask any of them. More than anything, I feel sick. My head feels so fuzzy as the blood slowly drains from my face. I must look so ridiculous right now, but I can't help it at all. It's okay. You can say anything you want. I prepared myself for all of it when I decided to tell you. Why? What? You mean why I did it? Poor sweet boy. No, I mean, why tell me? Why now? Ah, I guess that makes sense. June gets up from the floor, sitting next to me on the bed once more. Without wanting to, I flinch away as soon as I feel his arm grazing against mine. June chuckles, making my eyes go wide when I realize what I did. No, June, I didn't mean... It's alright. All things considered, this isn't nearly as bad as what I was prepared for. But to answer your question, I thought it was time. After what happened, I felt like I lost the right to keep hiding it from you. Out of everyone, you're the person that most deserved to really know about it. Plus, I've gone through something similar before. Having the chance to help someone I care about when they're in the same situation as me and not doing it? What would that say about me if I stayed quiet? June. So really, ask me anything. You've tried a bunch of times to ask about it, right? Now's your chance. But I never thought that... I know. You couldn't have known about it. Besides, I do a pretty good job at acting all ditzy and cheerful. Who guessed that the class dummy who's all smiles would have this kind of history? I just thought you were sick. I am. What do you have? I have a type of congenital heart disease. And basically, I was born with a malformation in my heart. It was minor enough that it wasn't caught at first. It wasn't until I had my first heart attack during a competition that they discovered it. That's why the situation is so tricky. I don't get what it is exactly. There's a lot of medical lingo involved and whatnot, but what I know is that there's apparently a bunch of scarring or whatever around my heart. I guess it formed over the years from it working extra hard to try and compensate. I take a bunch of medication to keep it under control, and I've had years to get used to it. I got pretty good at managing it, really. It's rare that it acts up out of nowhere. I can't believe this. I never imagined it could have been this bad. Don't feel bad. There was no reason for you to assume something like this. Isn't there anything else that can be done about it? Unless they fixed it surgically, not really. The surgery is very complicated, though. The risk is really high, and it also costs a lot. Since they didn't find out about my heart issue until I was already 11, it went from a simple repair to something incredibly difficult. The doctors themselves recommended I don't get the surgery. I don't even know what to say, June. This is why you lived away all those years? Ding, ding, ding. Other than a boarding school that was annexed to a hospital specializing in kids with chronic illnesses. Wait a second, y'all. Let me see. Charge my watch real quick, y'all. Let me pop it on a little charger. There we go. Perfect. And most of the other kids there had some kind of cardiac or pulmonary issue. A few others had stuff like really bad diabetes, bone disease, etc. And basically only the ones in really bad shape were sent there. God, I can't even imagine. If there's one thing I can say with 100% honesty, it's that I'm happy you'll never have to be someplace like that. That's a bit morbid, don't you think? It's alright. I made my peace with it a long time ago. But why did you... Oh, right. I forgot to tell that part. It's pretty sad, really. I never made any friends because I refused to accept my situation there. The closest thing I had to a friend was my roommate. We kind of watched over each other, even if we didn't hang out or anything of the sorts. A little over a year ago, I had another cardiac episode. It wasn't a full heart attack or anything, but the doctors checked my history and realized that most of my episodes happened when I was playing the piano, which I can't really fault them for. I often tune out everything around me when I play. I know it's a bad habit and I shouldn't do it. I tell myself I won't, but when I start playing, everything else just disappears. So they thought banning me from playing was the only solution. I was forbidden from going into the music room. I couldn't even be anywhere near a piano. For someone like me, music is my whole life. I've been playing since I can remember. I don't even know who I am without the piano. Put that together with me living away from friends and family for years and years, suffering from heart disease. I felt trapped. I started fantasizing about what it'd be like if everything would just end. The thoughts got more and more intense until I couldn't tune them out anymore. I chose a day when my roommate would be called out for a routine exam. I took out a knife I'd stolen from the cafeteria, locked myself in the bathroom, and... Stop! God, please stop. Right. Sorry. That's way too much detail. I'm really sorry. I played the whole thing in my head over and over again until I could become numb to it. It was the only way to get the nightmares to stop after. Either way, that happened. My roommate ended up coming back sooner than he should have because the doctor had to reschedule, so he found me and they rushed me to the ER. I was lucky enough that even if the cuts were deep, they were done wrong enough that I survived. After that, my parents stopped agreeing with the doctors. They brought me back home, put me in therapy, got a referral for a local hospital to oversee my treatment, the whole thing. I spent a whole year just recovering mentally from the whole thing. That's why I got held back a year in the first place. Oh, God. This all happened during your senior year, too. Yep. Honestly, I was pretty lucky to have come out of it as well as I did. I mean, I'm still pretty messed up in the head, but my scars healed pretty well. They didn't cause any long-term issues to my health, nor did they hurt my ability to play the piano. Mom and Dad are trying to be really careful now. They try not to restrict me too much. I can tell that they don't trust me 100% anymore after what happened. Not that I can blame them. My God, what do I even say here? This is all too much. How does a single person go through all that and come out of it doing okay? I guess it's no wonder that June had as many issues settling back in as he did. It makes sense why I seemed to be so lacking in common sense. It also makes sense why he was so anxious around us at first. God, I can even understand now why he spent so long pretending. I hated hearing about it. I hated the feeling of having been manipulated. I hated all of that, but if I were in a situation, if I had forced so many years of being utterly alone that had the thing I loved the most taken from me too, I guess I can understand why he was so worried. The idea of doing something like that never even crossed my mind, but there's no way he could know that. I'm really sorry, June. Having to go through all this with me, it must have been so traumatic for you. I'm sorry to have put you through that. Oh, don't be ridiculous. I'm not going to sit here and make your trauma about me. There's no way I'd even think of that. All I want is for you to understand where I'm coming from. For you to understand why I worry so much and why I might be so overbearing. I'm afraid, Yuichi-san. I told myself that if I ever got a second chance with you, that I'd be completely honest. That I'd tell you everything I've been hiding from you. I felt that after what you went through because of me, you had a right to know. But even then, when it finally came time to tell you, I chickened out. I was supposed to tell you days ago, but I kept postponing. I told myself that there was no point, that telling you wouldn't help with anything, that nothing good would come from it. And then, when you didn't show up for class today, and Akiyoshi told us you'd locked yourself in your room and refused to talk, I got scared. Yuichi-san, just as scared as I was the day of the accident. I thought that it's okay. You shouldn't keep thinking about things that aren't going to happen. Don't torture yourself like this. Getting over my initial hesitation, I quickly scooched closer to June at the first sight of tears, placing a hand on his back and rubbing it gently. The tiger jumps at the opportunity, throwing himself at me and burying his face on my chest. Before long, the only sounds that break the constant humming of the AC are the tiger's quiet, muffled sobs. His shoulders quiver every so often, with his entire body shaking under my hands. Seeing him like this, I can't help but feel sorry for him. That he kept all this bottled up for so long. That it took this for him to finally open up. God, I was sitting here feeling like I was somehow the most miserable person in the world. Not even coming close to understanding what kind of life June's led until now. And yeah, I know if I said that, he'd probably fire back saying it's not a competition. Or at least he would once he was done crying. And yet, despite all that, there's a little part of me that feels happy. Happy that he's finally opened up to me. Happy that I can feel useful. Being able to focus on consoling him makes me feel better about myself. How sick is that? I guess I must be pretty messed up in the head, too. Still, I can't say that to him. Not right now, at least. I'll just focus on trying to make him feel better. That much I can do. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there, y'all. That was a pretty heavy episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon and Patreon, our YouTube membership if you can. It always helps. And remember, y'all, it's never too late to reach out for help or admit that something might be wrong. Just take your life into your hands and don't let your misery end you. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!